Hi, this is Paige Carter, and we're going to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of Heidi Roizen's network and what she can do to maintain that network and continue to influence people. Heidi blows me away with her ability to create vast networks of meaningful relationships. And I had to laugh at Vincent Pluvinage's comment that Heidi is about 1 degree of separation away from everyone in Silicon Valley, which is just insanely impressive. Heidi is a true super connector, according to Uzi and Dunlap's article, and she is really careful to create relationships that encourage a win-win for all parties involved. As a super connector, Heidi focuses on forging deep relationships with the nuclei of other networks in her vast constellation, and this helps her maintain a lot of connections with a large number of people. Heidi is a natural at the science of persuasion. As Cialdini lines out, there are about 7 principles of this science. We're going to focus on 3 that Heidi really excels at. A friend says about Heidi, she likes to smile, and she is the captain of her industry. That proves her likability and her authority. Now, Cialdini says in his article that when you smile at someone, it's almost impossible for them not to smile back, and that creates an instant bond with someone. And as for authority, Heidi proves from her success with her startup with her brother, to her time as a vice president at Apple, to her high-profile venture capitalist job with SoftBank, that she really is an authority in the high-tech industry. The third thing that Heidi really firmly believes in is consistency. She thinks that if you're consistent and perform well in your relationship with others, then you are able to maintain a solid relationship even if you go years without seeing each other. Now, Heidi is very clearly a successful giver according to the parameters that Adam Grant lays out in his book, Give and Take. Grant identifies 3 types of people, but I'm going to break that down into 4. Unsuccessful givers, takers, matchers, and successful givers. Unsuccessful givers are those people that love to help others. They give and give and give until they have nothing left, and they end up neglecting their own needs. Unsuccessful givers are kind of like a balloon. When they get so burned out, they pop. Now, takers, on the other hand, are very willing to associate with givers because they are able to take from them without giving anything in return. In fact, these takers bear with me.
They take, and they take, and they take. And eventually everyone else notices there's something kind of funny about them, and either another taker or a matcher kind of calls them out on it, and eventually their careers just kind of deflate. Now, our third type of people are matchers, and those are the people that like to make bargains. So, for example, if I were to say, Dr. Mack, I like you so much that I'm going to give you this beautiful bouquet of balloons that say, best professor ever, but in return, could you give me an A on this project? That's an example of a matcher. Now, then the 4th type of people we have are successful givers, and those are the people that not only are able to give out of the kindness of their heart, but are also able to ask of others in a way that creates a beneficial relationship for everyone. And those are the people we know that just go straight to the top. Now, Heidi demonstrates 2 aspects of successful giving. First of all, she is a firm believer in reciprocity, and she really establishes that at her time at Apple. Heidi goes to her highest profile CEO friends and says, hey, Apple is struggling. Would you please continue to commit to us as we work out some kinks? And those CEOs who know and love Heidi say, yes, we'll continue to commit to Apple. And that ends up saving the company a large amount of capital, a large amount of embarrassment, I'm sure, as well. The second thing Heidi is really good at is Adam Rifkin's 5-minute favors. She loves to introduce people to one another, and in fact, in her dinner parties, takes pleasure in mixing people together. But this is really especially proven when a certain company called Softbook Press calls Heidi and offers her a job, and she says, you know what, my friend Ellen would be wonderful for that, and indeed that became a very mutually beneficial relationship. Now, after hours of searching, I finally found Heidi's flaws,
and I only found 2. She's a pretty spectacular person. But Heidi did allow herself to become burned out during her time with Apple. In Heidi's original position, she excelled, but as she became more involved in the company, she became so concerned with their strategic issues that she devoted more and more of her time to that, to the point where she was in 8 to 10 hours of meetings per day and receiving 300 emails, and she just had to quit. She couldn't maintain that pace anymore. It burned her out. So Heidi moved on and committed to being a mentor capitalist, which allowed her to create and build her network. But now she's back at SoftBank, and she is feeling those same pressures again of committing more and more of her time and neglecting special things like her famous dinner parties. Secondly, Heidi falls into the category that Uzi and Dunlap talk about, called the self-similarity principle, and that is that she surrounds herself with people that are in her sector, internet people and programmers and software and hardware developers, and she doesn't really branch out much beyond that. And one wonders what would happen if she were able to branch out into academia or anything else, and just kind of see what would happen with her career. So I have a couple final words of advice for Heidi, and that is just to keep your networking first. If that is what is important to you, then it needs to be at the top of your list. She needs to be firm with SoftBank and with her clients and commit 50% of her time so that she can spend 100% of her energy on her clients. I think that will be mutually beneficial for everyone, and it will certainly go a long way with keeping Heidi from burning out. So thank you so much.